Very good. Thanks for the call back. VE7 Sugar November Charlie. This is Kilo 7 Delta Alpha Alpha. Name is Dave, and I am in Provo, Utah. I'm running a new little QRP transceiver called a Xiegu Xeigu G90, Golf 90. And it's capable of putting out 20 watts, and I'm running barefoot, and I'm on a hex beam, but I'm pointed, you're actually off my side, I'm pointed due east. And you have a very good signal, excuse me, you have a very good signal down here as well, and I really appreciate you giving me a call back.
Yeah, well, you're nice and loud here. The audio is off a little bit, lots of bass in there, and it sounds like it might be a little hot on the gain, a lot of crispness when you're saying your P's and S's. It sounds a little hot, but you're 5.6, 5.7 here in the clear. Nice solid signal and no QSB.
Oh, very good. Let's see. Yeah, I should talk edge onto the mic, and I'll back off here about 10 inches away from the mic now. And I see I have the compression turned on. But yeah, I haven't even adjusted the mic gain yet. Just pulled it out of the box and connected it up, and away we go. So, and you're running here about 10 over 9, again, off the side of my hex beam, so not bad at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm running a little bit of power. I got, it's turned down. It's only at a kilowatt here. And the antenna's mostly 67B, a couple elements on 43 on 20 here, and it's up about 80 feet, and the old transceiver here is the old 7600 today.
Oh, very good. Well, I rotated the beam around your direction, just a little north of northeast from me here, and we'll see if that makes a difference. And yeah, I've got this is basically, it's a little SDR radio with you know, power amp and other things, but it has a little color display on it that's 1.8 inches diagonally, so you have to use your reading glasses with it. And but it has a spectrum display, and it even does the spectral display in transmit, which I find to be very interesting to use. So neat little radio. I bought it from a company called Connect Systems. They make a lot of DMR type handy talkies and things like that, and they're distributing this this little radio. I got it for about $400, and it's fairly cute. It looks like a little miniature rack mount radio, you know, vastly miniaturized. It's only about 4 inches across and about 8 inches deep, but it's in a steel case, so it is built like a little mini battleship here. But I really like the spectral display on it, similar to your 7600 or the 7300 ICOM, which is, I think, become so popular partly because of some of the nice features like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you bet. Since you turn the beam around, you're a solid S7, peaking up to a 9. That's pretty incredible for 20 watts. If I turn the preamp on, you're well over the 9. So when I'm giving you a 7 to a 9, that's with no preamp on. So it's a good, honest idea what you're doing there. So I'm actually finding it hard to believe you're only running 20 watts, because that's a hell of a signal for 20 watts.
Yeah, I am too, actually. You know, I've got several other QRP radios, including, you know, the venerable Yaesu FT817, which runs only 5 watts PEP on single sideband, and you have to really find strong signals to work to get a response back, unless you're in a contest or something. And this one runs 20 watts PEP. In fact, I can see it has a peak reading power meter as well here that's showing me, as well as a digital display that's moving, that shows me the exact amount of power output I'm getting. Let me just click the compressor off here and see how that changes my audio here. So stand by just a second. Okay, now I think I turned the compressor off. Teeny little buttons. You have to almost use the edge of your fingernail for them. Did that do anything?
It does definitely sound different, but that it almost sounds like an RF on the signal, but I don't think it's RF. It's almost oh boy, I don't know how to describe it. It's a kind of a raspy sound on your audio. It's a shame because the bottom end sounds great. It sounds like it's only on the top couple thousand hertz there that it's got this weird crackly noise to it. But other than that, it's working very, very well.
Well, I really appreciate your ear on this. I wouldn't be surprised at all that the mic gain is set too high, because I can hold it. Well, let's see. Let me hold it way far away. Now I'm about 18 inches away from the microphone, and I'm not sure if it's also maybe picking up some room echo now or something. But I literally just pulled this out of the box and connected it up to the antenna and to power, and tried a few settings, and off we go here. So it's on its maiden voyage. As I said, you're the first one that I'm making contact with using it. So how does that sound with my voice this far away?
You know, it still sounds pretty darn good that far away, which is pretty crazy. So I'm guessing the mic gain is pretty high, and you were actually peaking 5.9 plus about 5 dB that time. That's again, I just can't believe that's only 20 watts. That's just booming up here. I would have swore you were running a beam with at least a kilowatt.
Isn't that funny? Wow. Well, we can't always predict how things are going to work, and I'm very pleased to say the least. And again, just for ID, this is K7DAA Dave in Utah, and just trying out the new little rig here. So yeah, one of the first things I want to do now is actually read the manual. I haven't even opened the manual yet, and see where the mic gain gets set, and obviously turn that down a bit.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I'll jump out of here and let you work a couple more there, but I'm impressed. The thing sounds pretty good, other than I think it might be the mic gain might be a little bit hot, but other than that, man, that thing, that'll be a great mountaintop rig there. Anyway, you have fun, Dave. Name here is Brent. I don't think I gave you the name, and I'm up in Prince George, which is in the central parts of British Columbia, and yeah, it's that thing sounds great on the hex beam. I'm trying to talk my buddy into getting one of those in New Brunswick. I was back there a couple of years ago, and we put up TH3 Junior, but they have lots of grief, and every time it gets wet, the SWR goes off the charts with it and doesn't like it. So those hex beams, boy, I tell you, I hear them all over the place, and guys don't run big stations, but you always seem to hear them. So they're a pretty good little antenna. Anyway, have fun, and have fun with the new rig there, and I might have to check that out. I think I remember seeing them. I can't remember how to spell. You did spell for me. I think it starts with an XE or something like that. So yeah, I will give it a look here one of these days. Have a great week ahead, and I should tell you about the wonderful weather we're having. We're about -2 and snowing outside. So somewhere below 32 your temperature there, so it probably, I don't know, 0 or not 0, be around 30, 28, somewhere in there, I'm guessing. Have a good day, Dave, and have fun with the new rig. Talk to you again soon. Kilowatt number 7, Delta Alpha Alpha in Utah. Victor Echo 7, summer's never coming here, ever.
Oh, that's great. I love the phonetics. Well, Brett, thank you very, very much for coming back to me and letting me demo the rig here. I'm also videoing it with my iPhone. I don't upload things to YouTube, but I don't know, I might make an exception here. If I do upload it, I'll give you an email or something to let you know, because you really sound great here. It's just a little 2-inch speaker also, and it your voice is coming through really very clearly and sounds excellent. So thanks again for your help, and we'll see you down the log. VE7, summer never comes. This is QO7's don't always assume, I guess, is about the only thing I can come up with. 73, Brett.
Oh, I like that. Don't always assume. You know what that does. All right, Dave, 73. Have a great week.
Is there anybody else on frequency that could give us a little signal report here running a new little QRP rig at 20 watts? This is K7DAA in Utah.
I'll spot you on the cluster here, Dave.
Oh, that's nice of you. Thanks. This time will beam east. Hello CQ, calling CQ, CQ 20 meters, testing a new QRP radio. This is Kilo 7 Delta Alpha Alpha in Utah. Anybody on frequency for a quick signal report?
Whiskey 9, Lima, Charlie, Mike.
Oh, W9LCM, good signal, about 5 and 9 here in Utah. Name is Dave, and I'm just testing out a new little QRP radio, the Xiegu Xeigu, I think it is, G90. It's approximately the size of a little FT817, but it's got a colored display on it and an SDR radio in it. Seems like a fun little box so far, but one of the big differences is it's capable of running up to 20 watts. And I just pulled it out of the box, and I haven't even adjusted the mic gain yet. And Brett there, the VE7 station just before, mentioned that the audio might sound a little distorted or hot, so I'd appreciate any comments about that. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the audio sounds clear. It's a little bassy. Your signal is pretty good. You're coming to Rochester, Indiana. You're doing about a 5.7, but it's very consistent, very clean. So no trouble copying you at all. Yeah, maybe if you back the mic down just a hair, that might take some of that bass out. But it's totally legible without any adjustment on this end. What was your call sign? Over.
Yeah, the call again is Kilo 7 Delta Alpha Alpha, and the name is Dave, and I don't know if I caught your name.
One more time. I got the 7 Delta Alpha Alpha.
Oh yeah, the band's taking a fade. I can hear it here. Yeah, Kilo 7 Delta Alpha Alpha, Kilo 7 Denmark, America, America.
Roger that. Kilo 7 Delta America, America. Got that. My name here is John.
Okay, and where were you located again, John?
I'm located in Rochester, Indiana. It's kind of between South Bend, Indiana, and Indianapolis. About an hour south of South Bend, hour 45 north of Indy.
Oh, very good. Well, you got a good signal in here to Utah, no problem at all. And yeah, we're just running 20 watts, a little barefoot rig here, and I'm enjoying it so far. It was about $400 on a special from a company called Connect Systems. They are out on the West Coast here, and they make a lot of, or they remarket, I guess is a better word for it, a lot of DMR type radios, and they're also one of the distributors for these Xiegu radios. Another one I've seen is called Radio Oddity that also carries these rigs. Cute little rig with a little color display on it, a spectral display, so you can even see your own transmit spectrum, and lots of little teeny buttons. But I'm liking it so far.
Roger that. Was that a kit?
No, it was fully built, and all I did was pull it out of the box and connect power and antenna, and away we go.
Roger. Okay. What do you have for an antenna on there?
Right now, I'm using my hex beam from my home station. I have the Elecraft K line, and so I have a hex beam on the roof on a 12-foot tower, pointed generally east right now, which should be your direction.
Roger. Well, that all the work for you, definitely, and it's doing a good job. So, yeah, once again, proof that antenna is a big thing. You don't need a lot of power, and the conditions are reasonably good. Over.
Boy, that is true. I love my hex beam, and life is so much better with some gain, and it just also seems to really hear well. Even when I was originally calling CQ, I was pointed in your direction, and Brett, the VE7 station in British Columbia, came back to me with I think it was a 5.7 report, even off the side. It seems to be also another corollary to the idea of getting a good antenna up is if you get a lot of metal up in the air, it doesn't necessarily, let's see, you don't necessarily have to have it pointed in the right direction. Over the years, I've, worked people off the side and off the back, quite well. I guess in the case of the hex beam here, it kind of behaves like a 2-element Yagi would, but it doesn't have a huge amount of front to back, but frankly, I only care about forward gain and basically just getting a signal out, and that seems to do the good job here. Go ahead.
Roger, yeah, your signal's still doing good. The conditions are wavering a little bit, but you're still coming through real clean. So yeah, it's always fun to see what you can do. Over.
Well, thanks very much, John. I really appreciate your ear, and so far so good. I really like the little radio here. It is different from the FT817 in that it runs more power, but it's only HF, whereas the 817 does 6 meters and 2 meters and 70 centimeters, and it also does not have internal batteries, so you have to connect it to external power. But seems like a very solidly built little rig. I wouldn't use it for backpacking, but not that I do that much. But as long as I can tote along an external battery, I think we're good to go. So thanks again for your signal report there, John, in Indiana. And we'll say 73 for now, and we'll look forward to talking to you again sometime.
Roger that. Actually, I'm looking at your info here up on QRZ. So I see your antenna. I don't have my info very much on QRZ. I did my own website, which is mycallsign.com. And if you have a chance, you can go out there and see what I set up. I've only been on the air for a couple of weeks. I spent 40 years waiting to do this. I've always been in electronics and as an engineer. So finally got it done, and I did everything up the best I knew how. My pocketbook hurt, but I expected some issues, and so far so good. So I'm having too much fun. I got a nice big linear amp, one of the RF kit 2K or 2 pluses, sitting on a bench, and I just can't get to putting it together. I keep playing on the radio. So, all right. Well, have a good evening, and 73 is to you. K7DAA W9 LCM.
All right, John, 73. Thanks very much, and I guess I should say welcome to the hobby. I got my ham license when I was 10 or 11 years old, and except for a few periods of minor inactivity, I've enjoyed ham radio all my life, and it's fun to experiment. So I hope you have a great experience with it. I know what it means to have layered projects, too many things going on, and sometimes it's just more fun to get on the air and operate, like right now. 73, and we'll catch you a little bit later. This is Dave, K7DAA in Utah, and I'll say QRZ if anybody else is on the frequency who might be able to give me a signal report. CQ 20 meters, CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Kilo 7 Delta Alpha Alpha in Utah, operating a new QRP Xiegu G90 radio, running about 20 watts. Just looking for signal reports. If anybody would mind lending an ear, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
Wow, K1IEB Mobile. Good signal, about a 5.7, I think. Name is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo, and I'm running about 20 watts here into a hex beam pointed generally east. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Dave. Well, you're 5 and 9 here in the Mobile, and we're near Austin, Texas. We're near Austin, Texas there, Dave. Give me the prefix of your call if you would, Dave.
Yeah, the prefix is kilowatt. I switched from kilo and kilowatt in the same word. Kilowatt 7, Denmark, America, America.
Yeah, K7DAA, K1IEB Mobile. Yeah, very good. Yeah, we hail from Arizona. We're down here visiting my son here in Texas here. And we'll be heading back to Mesa there on Thursday there, will we?
Oh, very good. Well, you got a good signal here, especially for a mobile. Really good signal. You're a little bit off the side of my beam here, off my hex beam. So maybe I can turn it in your direction a little bit more, but the signal is very, very good even without that. So tell me about your mobile installation. I used to do a lot of HF mobile and really enjoyed it.
Well, we're running an 857D, and it's just a HamStick antenna, Dave, stuck onto the side of the pickup here.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm moving the beam around here. Okay, is that any better? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're 5'9" plus about 10.
Well, I love my hex beam. What can I say? Well, that's neat. An 857D and a HamStick. I used to operate 857D as well from my Toyota Camry, and I had a little Tar Heel HP screwdriver antenna on the back trunk edge. I used one of those diamond mounts, and it worked really well. It wasn't too heavy for it. It was close, but I used that for several years, and then I added a 500 watt amp, and boy, I could break pileups all over the place. I was having a good time till a young lady ran into the back of me and finished off my mobile ham shack. Go ahead. I'm in Provo, Utah, just a little north of the center of the state, or about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah, very good signal from Salt Lake City, that's for sure. We're always looking for the Utah stations on VHF. We operate 432 sideband, 220 and 2 meters and 6 meters. And I almost worked Utah once, but he got right there down there, but he didn't get my eyes, so he made the contact. But we're always swinging the beams up towards Utah, that's for sure there, Dave. Why don't you do any VHF work, I guess?
Well, I'd like to. I've actually only been here back in Utah for a year. I've been living in Silicon Valley. And of course, out there, it's unusual to find a house that you can actually put up an antenna with. So I've only been running on my hex beam here full time for about a year and 3 months. And I would definitely like to. I have a couple of VHF beams. I've got an 11 element beam I could theoretically put up and mount horizontally and see what kind of results we'd get. Go ahead. All right, very good. Well, thanks so much for coming back to me and as I said, yeah, I'm just running 20 watts PEP here, and I'm actually quite surprised at how well it's getting out. So yeah, good mobile signal, and look forward to seeing you again, maybe on 2 meters sideband. 73, and hope you have a safe and comfortable drive, and we'll talk to you again soon. This is Dave, K7DAA in Utah, 73. Okay, QRZ, anybody else on the frequency? This is K7DAA. Okay, K7DAA going QRT for a while.